Hi, my name is Justin. I'm the developer of PurRocket, an iOS space game with cats. And I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast. You can find a link to download my game at facebook.com/PurRocket.
Hi, my name's Cartoon Penguin, and I'm a part of Shocknight's development team, and I listen to One Up Gaming podcast.
Gaming podcast, hosted by David, Sean, and Zach.
Welcome, one and all. We're back. It's One Up Gaming. It's episode 179. It's me, David, and we've got Chris.
Hey, how you going?
I'm actually feeling so much better from last week.
That is good.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like in New Zealand, but in the UK, if you are old or suffer from like a medical sort of condition,
Yeah.
they don't force you, but they advise you to go get a flu jab.
Okay. No, that's... Yeah.
Because I'm diabetic, I am highly advised to go get the flu jab because I'm highly susceptible to getting a cold, but because I'm diabetic, it could not just get a cold, it goes right a lot further.
Okay.
If that kind of makes sense. And my mum refuses to get the flu jab because she says it literally puts her in bed for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So, and for me, normally, it just gives me a dead arm for a day or two, and then that's it. But a couple of weeks ago, I went and got it. The day after I had the jab, I could not speak. My throat was so bad.
Okay.
And then about 2 days after that, the throat wasn't too bad, but I could not... I couldn't stop coughing.
Yeah.
It just coughing all the time. And then I got like a blocked nose, runny nose, headache, dizziness. I just felt so ill. And that lasted for about 2 weeks. So yeah, that was fun. But,
Yeah, no, that sounds not great.
yeah, and I bet you're having gorgeous weather where you are.
Like, it's getting there. Like, we have a few sunny days, because the thing is about Auckland, at least, the part of New Zealand where I live, weather changes in 5 minutes. Like, it is beautiful sunny weather, and then within 20 minutes, it's like bucketing down with rain.
That sounds pretty weird.
It is.
Is
Auckland...
it quite mountainy, hilly sort of thing?
I mean, I wouldn't say so.
Because that's
Like-
what they say about certain places. When I watch Formula 1, it's like with the valleys and that, it brings in the weather or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think, like, New Zealand in general is just kind of... Just we're known for kind of having, like, really, like, random weather. I don't know, I think it's just the part of the world we live in.
Yeah. Then again, Britain's shite, so, you know.
But, no, it's been pretty nice recently, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh well, that's nice. So, Chris, we have not spoken in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no.
It's been great, hasn't it?
I know, I've enjoyed it.
Anyway. What have you been playing, sir?
I've been playing quite a lot. Some games that I've really enjoyed, some games that I've not. The not so much enjoyed. I've played 2 Xbox exclusives.
Ooh.
One of them was Recore.
That's now like a free demo, isn't there?
I think so, yeah.
I might try that.
I played that, and I played Gears of War 4.
I'm not that bothered with Gears of War 4.
Neither am I.
Right.
So, I played both those. I was like, okay, you know, they're 2 decent Xbox exclusives for the year, other than, like, you know, I forget it was this year, but Quantum Break was the other big one.
I really enjoyed that. Apart from the last 10 minutes, but I really enjoyed it up till that point.
For me, it was a misstep, and that's how I feel about both of these as well. Like, so I mean, I don't even know what to say about Recore. Recore is just it feels like a Mighty Number 9, because Recore was made by Keiji Inafune, who made Mighty Number 9 and the Mega Man stuff, and I was playing through it, and I was like, it's
got to be better than Mighty Number 9.
It's better than Mighty Number 9, but you're put into this big kind of open world hub sand dune kind of area. So basically, you're this girl called Jewel, I think Jewel, and you've got this robot dog called Mac, and basically there was this planet you're on. It was supposed to be terraformed into a livable planet for human beings, but you're kind of walking around and there's no other human beings around. You're the only one around. Something's gone wrong, and there's all these crazy robots everywhere. So that's kind of like the pitch. The problem is, you jump into it, and it's like, it doesn't explain it at all to begin with. Like, I load up the game, and you just see this girl walk over a hill and goes, huh, come on, Mac. And then the game starts, and I was like, really? Like, no, you don't want to tell me anything else? It's like, no, jump straight into it. And then I just started shooting robots. It was just like, shoot this robot. And I was like, why am I shooting this robot? I'm friends with this other robot. I'm just shooting random robots. So the story was pretty bad. And the gameplay is very... You have to play through and you have to collect these orbs to progress through the story, which, like I say, is pretty bad. But you have to collect these cores, and to do it, it's like it forces you to do optional missions. So you're trying to get these cores, and it goes, okay, well, you need 25 of these cores to open the door to the next part of the story. So now go back through the game that you've already been through. Go do like a random dungeon that are pretty boring. Go through and find a secret one hidden at the top of a tower or something. And it kind of forces you to go back into the areas that you've already been through and like replay them until you've got enough of these cores to progress further. And the moment-to-moment gameplay is not fun enough to actually kind of make the grind of collecting these cores of any interest. So, I mean, basically your only mechanic is shoot, and you can shoot with a different color, and the robots will die quicker if they match the color. Or you can call in one of your several robot companions to do a single attack. And that's the entire gameplay system when it comes to combat. So, I mean, it's played that for a bit, didn't end up beating it. I got to nearly the end of the game and I just got so bored it was just too repetitive. So stopped that, and I thought, okay, well, this is really repetitive, I'll play something new. So, played Gears of War 4. Equally as repetitive. I was disappointed, but also impressed, because I think the story in Gears of War 4 is probably, in my opinion, my favourite one of all the Gears games. Which isn't saying a lot, because I don't think too highly of the Gears game stories, but, it was a decent story. It was, well-designed, graphically. It was interesting enough. The story was kind of capturing my attention. But it really is, like, my problem with the Gears series is it's the exact same game that it was when it first came out. Like, other games come out and they take the systems they had before and they kind of innovate on them. They add to them. They do something with it. This is the exact same system that I played in Gears of War 1. Sadly, for over half the game, you're using the exact same weapons that you used all throughout the Gears series. Like, the weapons you used in the last 4 Gears of War games, you have to use for over half the game with nothing new. it just, and I was just like, you know, oh, it's a little bit of a different story. I've played this game before. I've played this game 4 times. I've played this game, and I wasn't too fond of it before because it's slow. It is just kind of, you cover shooting, you get behind cover, you stay there, you shoot wave upon wave of enemies, you walk through a door, you do it again. You know, and there's kind of nothing more than that. There was one segment that kind of changed things up, and I actually found really interesting. We have a vehicle mission. But other than that, it's just the exact same stuff through the entire game.
Yeah, because, I mean, when they first showed the teaser a couple of years ago, I really liked the survival horror aspects. And then I think the development team, sort of like, after all the negative press they got, they just made another Gears of War game.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think they were going for more of that survival horror, and I really like that. I really liked the first showing of Gears of War 4, because I liked that. I liked that tone they were going for, but they got so much backlash that, yeah, it just feels like they went straight back to making a generic Gears of War game. And I know a lot of people have praised it for that, but, you know, when it came out, it was revolutionary, but I've played cover shooters since then. I've played cover shooters that I feel play better than Gears of War, and this just doesn't do anything new.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. However, I have played 2 other games that I found both incredibly enjoyable. And those were Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1. Both of which are 2 of the best shooters I played in a long time. Battlefield 1, probably a decent amount more than Titanfall 2, but they're both fantastic shooters. Battlefield 1 to me is probably, other than Uncharted 4, my top game of the year. I thought it got everything right. It had the most beautiful graphics that I've seen of any game this year. The gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay, like, it wasn't like Call of Duty where I feel like I'm running and gunning and I'm just mowing everyone down without thinking about it. Like, I felt like I had to be precise. I felt like I had to think about my actions. There was a tenseness that I felt every time, you know, I saw an enemy or got into a gunfight that I felt like was very fitting for the tone of the game. The story and the campaign, the little vignettes of different characters all across the war from different nations was fantastic. Like, excellently written, excellently performed by the actors who played them. I just thought Battlefield 1 was an absolutely fantastic game. I mean, it just, in every aspect, gameplay, graphical fidelity, story, I felt like it just impressed me in every single way. And then Titanfall 2, you know, I'm playing through that at the moment. I'm not finished at the moment, but once again, the gameplay just feels great. Like, Titanfall 2 to me feels like what COD should have been. It feels like to me what I've played the last 3 or 4 Call of Duties, and no, it feels like to me what I've always wanted Call of Duty to feel like when I play it. It just feels good to play, you know, and the opposite to Battlefield 1, like I go through Titanfall 2 and I feel powerful, I feel smooth and kind of agile when I'm moving. And then the gameplay in the single-player campaign gets switched up so much by transitioning between playing, you know, on your own versus playing within a Titan, versus all the different kind of loadouts your Titan can have and the different gameplay mechanics they introduce like throughout the game. I mean, they just switch it up enough that I never feel bored, in the same way that they did with Battlefield 1 with the vignettes. In the story, I never got bored of the story because they just continuously switch things up, and I think both of those games have kind of nailed kind of gameplay and storytelling within a game by, you know, dealing with the age-old issue of, you know, this was really fun, but I feel like I've been playing it too long now, or it's dragged on a bit, because they just continuously switch things up. They continuously keep you on your feet. So, I mean, I think they're both really, really great shooters, and that actually this year's been a pretty good year for shooters.
It's weird. Everyone says that, but the Doom remake, I hated that with a passion.
You
And
hated
everyone else
it?
said it was amazing.
No, see, I didn't think it was amazing. I thought it was all right, but you know, I appreciated it for what it was. I thought it was a good game for what it was, but it's not my kind of game.
And I mean, I've not even tried Battlefield 1 because the last Battlefield game I liked was Battlefield 2 on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And I didn't like 3, and I bought 4 and I played it once and I turned it off, and that was horrible.
Yeah, no, I've played 3 and I played 4, and this feels completely different.
Yeah.
Like, this feels like its own very distinct game, and it's like, as I say, I haven't played a shooter that felt quite like Battlefield 1 in a long time, because too many shooters these days make you feel overpowered, make you feel like you're just some, you know, modern day or, you know, sci-fi dude walking around just running and destroying every single person in front of you. But this like, there's tenseness because, you know, if you get caught, you know, within 2 shots you're dead. You know? You got to be smart. Like, the amount of times I was, like, crawling through foliage to kind of get the right angle so I could take a guy out without being, you know, picked up by the rest of his company. Like, I mean, there was tactics to how I had to play the campaign. And the vehicles you get to drive in, like, biplane, you know, a World War I tank, being able to ride on a horse. They all feel like fantastic. Like, probably the best tank controls I've ever played.
And the other game that you were talking about,
Titanfall 2.
I played the original Titanfall, and I guess it just wasn't for me. I don't play multiplayer games at the best of times.
Yeah.
And basically when it was just a multiplayer game, you know, when you just like, it seems fun, but I just can't be bothered with other people.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
So I think because of that, I just can't be bothered to even try the second one.
No, I wasn't interested, as I say, because when it's multiplayer only, it's just, I don't touch it. It's not for me. That's why I haven't given Overwatch a go and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I just know it's not my kind of game because I can't be bothered playing online with people, and I don't really see the enjoyment in it.
I think it'd be great that, basically, I think EA's missed a trick. EA and Respawn using the Titanfall engine, they should have waited and basically did the official movie video game for Power Rangers next year.
Alright.
That was the same response I got before, but you actually cut off.
Maybe I wanted to leave.
Silent.
Maybe I wanted to leave.
No, but I think that could be quite cool because, like, in Power Rangers, you're a little dude running around fighting, and then you jump into your Zord thing.
Yeah.
And then you could have like an end of level, end of game sort of story boss where you all join up to make like a big, massive Power Zord, whatever the hell they're called. Sorry, a Megazord.
See, maybe it's the different generations because I like know nothing about Power Rangers. I was thinking like when you talk about franchises that could like use their Titans and stuff. You heard of Zoids?
Yeah, I think Zoids are even older than Power Rangers.
Really?
I think so.
I would have think like Zoids would have been cool, or Transformers. Like imagine if Respawn made a Transformers game.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Like I think that's the Titan and versus Titan combat in Titanfall 2 is so fun. Like just the different weapons that they give you with each Titan. Like there's some awesome moves. Like when you're fighting another Titan and they're like firing off rounds at you, and there's this move you can do where you put up the shield that basically catches bullets and captures like shrapnel, and then you can just let it go and it fires straight back. Like weapons like that
was in the original.
Yeah, exactly. But to have that now, like as I say, because I'm not a multiplayer guy, I never played the original, but to have that in the campaign and have like boss battles where you're fighting these titans and then use moves like that, or they just feel good. Like the even the simple things, like you've played in like a game a million times before, like lock-on rockets, just feel fantastic in this.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because it's hard to put into words because it's like stuff that you've played in games before and it's stuff that you've like done a million times before. But some games just get the feel right. They just make it feel fantastic.
So, if you were to recommend one first-person shooter game for me, what would it be this year, sort of thing?
Well, I mean, I think it depends. Are you more into fast, wanting, kind of... It depends what you're looking for. If you're wanting the fast, wanting to feel overpowered, wanting to feel like you're annihilating everything, Titanfall 2. If you're wanting something more tactical, something you're going to feel more on edge about, that you have to be maybe a little bit more sneaky with, then I would recommend Battlefield 1. Overall, which one I like better, I would definitely go with Battlefield 1.
Right, because I come from a generation where Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament, they were the massive games for me. I used to love them so much.
Yeah.
And then when technology got a bit better... And they started doing... I used to love Ghost Recon, the original.
Mm.
And when technology got better, when they started adding all the lens flare and lights and all the shine and fog and this, that, the other, I just couldn't play the realistic-y sort of games anymore because I don't know if it's just because I'm colourblind but I just couldn't work out who was on my side and who wasn't.
Yeah.
So I could be stood right next to someone, and then all of a sudden they just shoot me and say, oh shit, I didn't realise there was someone on the other team.
Yeah, being colourblind must be pretty annoying when you're playing games, because it's always like the red and blue markers, or there's like the faint red on their outfit. It's like, oh, that's the bad guy.
And I mean, some games, they actually mark your own team and not the others. But it's only a tiny little dot, and if you're not paying attention, you don't even notice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's why I stick to one... Well, it's every man for themselves, so if you see something, shoot it.
Yeah, yeah.
But... I don't know. I might give one of them a go. I don't know why, but Call of Duty looks quite good this year.
I mean, other than the space combat, it kind of just looks like Call of Duty, though, doesn't it?
I don't know. I've not played a Call of Duty game since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, okay. Alright.
So, and I wasn't very impressed with that, that's why I never went any further with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone was saying it was the best game ever made, and I played it, and I was like, oh. Well, if this is the best game ever played, Jesus Christ, I'm going back to the Saturn.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, is that all you've been playing this week?
Yeah, I've played a few smaller things, but nothing notable. What have you been playing this week, David?
Well, there was a motorbike game called Ride 2.
Okay.
Which is the sequel to Ride.
No.
And do you know, like, now, you download the game, and about 10 minutes later it says ready to play, but it's only downloaded like 40% of the game or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll click on it and give it a go.
Okay.
And it just loaded up to like a training thing where it's just... And it reminded me of like a Road Rash, where you're racing through the city like an arcadey sort of game.
Okay.
But with realistic sort of physics to the bikes. But it played a bit... It was weird. And then I turned it off, and I completely forgot about it for about a week. And I went back to it, and I went into the main career mode. And it is so much like Gran Turismo, it hurts.
Yeah.
They've copied everything from like the Gran Turismo sort of style, all the way the the graphics, the overlays. Click on the bikes, you can zoom around them, look at them, detail. And when I actually got into the actual game after that, it was a lot more sim. And it wasn't just on an open road, it was actually on like a track, like a circuit. And I like that. I prefer circuit racing rather than open world.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I love Burnout 3, Burnout Takedown, whatever it was called. But I didn't like Burnout Paradise.
Okay.
You know, I like the walled off circuits where you know where you're going.
Yeah.
But this game, it plays really well. You can tell it's a budget game. It's in the UK, games are like 55 quid, and this I think was about 30.
Yeah.
So even at brand new, it is a bit of a budget game, and you can tell. But it plays really well. The only negative I will say is because they've copied the Gran Turismo, I think, 3 sort of style, it feels very dated with the layout and the menus and... Do you know what I mean? Because I think Gran Turismo 3 is about 15-year-old now.
Yeah, it's
well,
quite
maybe
old,
not that
actually.
old, but...
Yeah, maybe... Yeah, I don't know. Actually, look it up.
Because that was one of the launch games of the PS3... PS2.
You carry on with what you're saying. I'm gonna actually check it out.
I'm gonna say it's about 8-year-old.
You're gonna say it's 8 years old?
Yeah, I guess.
It is actually, you were right, 15 years old.
Oh, right, Jesus Christ.
April 28th, 2001 was the initial release.
Flipping hell.
PlayStation 2.
Well, yeah, so as you can guess, if they're copying that sort of style, things have moved a lot further on now.
Yeah.
So, but for a budgety sort of game, if you enjoy motorbikes, it is really good. Once I got used to the handling of the bike, because you have to actually lean right over and then you have to straighten yourself up before you can lean back to the other. Once you get used to the flow of the circuit, it is really fun.
Yeah.
The next game, it's just a mobile game, but I thought I'd mention it because I really enjoyed it. It's called Pin Out. And it's basically, do you know the Pac-Man Championship Edition? The way they changed the art style to be more neon and...
Yeah.
Imagine a pinball table, but with that sort of art. And basically, you're trying to get the ball up to the next set of flippers, and then when you get it to the next set of flippers up, the sort of like it changes colour and speeds and music, and it's such a fun little game.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
So I played it on the iPhone. It's really fun. Next game, a proper game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. And this game suffers from the same thing that I think Smash Brothers suffers from.
Okay.
And that's well too many hundreds of characters to be able to choose from.
Okay.
And they all have the same sort of button layout, so you're just mashing buttons.
Yeah. Did you buy that, or did you get a code for that?
I got a disc.
They sent you a disc?
I would have given you the code if it was a code, but I weren't going to ship a disc out.
Oh, no. I was wondering, because I was like, that doesn't seem like your kind of game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
No. If I get codes for PS4, I give them out to people. If I get discs, I can't be able to spend the $5 to send it over to other people.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So what did you think of Dragon Ball? So you thought it was too many characters?
The problem is, I know nothing about Dragon Ball. Absolutely nothing about Dragon Ball. So it opens up, and it's this explaining this massive battle that's just happened, and I'm just like, I don't know these characters, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this other person turns up and goes back in time to before the battle starts, and then you are this character, and you are basically time travelling through all the major battles and changing the course of history.
Right.
So
well, that's
if
fine for
are-
you, because you don't even know the history.
Yeah. if you were a massive Dragon Ball fan, this could be amazing because you're going back to some of the major like fights throughout the cartoon anime's history,
Yeah.
and that could be amazing. But to me, it was just, I don't know these people. They're not really introducing themselves. It's just weird names and shouting
Yeah.
And then when the game come on, it looks nice, but I think it looks like a high-res PS2 sort of game. Because they're going for the cartoony sort of style, it doesn't have the detail. It's just thick black lines, and it just looks a bit simple. Even the backgrounds don't look very detailed.
Yeah.
Other than that, it plays smoothly enough. It is weird. It's good that they've got a lock on, because when you're in like full 3D world, it is quite hard to fly around and hit things at the same sort of time.
Yeah.
So it plays nice, but I just think that if you're not a Dragon Ball fan, you will get nothing out of the game.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I was a massive fan of some of the early games like Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and 3. And I felt like I played Ultimate Tenkaichi, and I felt like the series kind of started like they'd already made their best game and were going away and from what actually made the games good. And no, so I was curious to hear what Xenoverse 2 was like, especially with the, because I'd heard, it had the branching storyline in the sense of, like how you could change history, and I was interested in, how the playing your own character within this world would kind of come through it.
Yeah. But as I say, if you know the history and know the characters, you might get more of a thrill.
Yeah.
But because I know nothing about it, it is just an above-average looking game with very simple controls. And to me, that's what Smash Brothers is. I don't really like Smash Brothers, but everyone else goes on about how amazing it is.
Is this just your hate for Nintendo shining through?
No, because I love Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I just do not like Smash Brothers.
Yeah. No, fair enough. We all have different tastes.
So, moving on. Farming Simulator 17.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Now, were you on the podcast when I was talking about those other games? Those other simulatory sort of games?
You've brought them up a couple times, yeah.
Oh, what the hell were they? Giant Machines and Demolish and Build Company. And this game was on PS4, the others were PC. So this game has probably got a bit more of a polish and sheen to it.
Yeah.
It looks a bit more high budget. But it's a very similar sort of game. Open world, go around. You can drive all around the little county where you are in the farm. And I had no idea what I'm doing. But you have to basically, on the very first bit, you have to get your tractor, go over to the combine, or the plough, hook up the plough, drive over to the field and plough the field. And I could honestly say, I could really see spending hours and hours, just sitting and just driving up and down in straight lines, and
yeah,
it's very soothing. So, I don't know if you've ever tried any of the sort of like farming simulatory sort of games.
See, I play games for story and for atmosphere and for
this has got
grandeur
story and atmosphere.
Just a game called Farming Simulator. I'm just like, nah, I'm alright. I'll pass. That's cool.
I was talking to someone saying that it was like Farming Simulator 17, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's 17 of them." It's like, no, that's the year.
2017. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate this whole. All these games do it. I hate how they do it. Like, it's 2016.
Yeah.
And they put out Farming Simulator FIFA 2017.
I can understand why FIFA does it.
Why?
Because although it's FIFA for this year, it covers the 2016-2017 season.
Right.
Because in England, the football season starts in September and finishes in May.
Right, okay.
So technically, it does finish in 2017.
But every sports game does it. Like, not every sport goes over the new year.
F1, this year's F1 game was F1 2016. Because it starts in March and ends in November. You know, I don't know about the American sports, like basketball. I don't know when they start and finish.
Yeah, neither do I.
But I can sort of say for football, I can understand why they have done that.
Okay. Farming, are those the seasons? Wherever these people are? Those the seasons?
Well, you never stop, do you, with farming? You keep going.
Yeah, exactly. It should be Farming Simulator Eternal.
Yeah. Until we do next year's game.
Why don't they call it something like Farming Simulator Crop Season or something like that, you know, like a bit more fitting than 2017. This year, we're going to have the biggest harvest.
So, I did actually have a go at F1 2016. I put up on our YouTube channel, I broke up the practice, qualifying and the race. So I've got 3 videos up last week, or the week before of that. So I might do that again for this weekend's race.
Yeah.
Just something to do, you know, something to mess about. It only takes like 20 minutes, half an hour. And that was quite fun. I really enjoyed the game. I think they've done a really good job. The handling and the feeling of the driving feels really good.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not really happy with the graphics. When you're in career mode and you're talking to your agents and the other engineers and stuff, it looks like people from the very, very early days of the 360 sort of, you know, where they've got no detail whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it just looks really out of place when the driving and the cars look so good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I guess they're using old technology, because I think it still uses the Argo engine that was created for the 360, so they've probably just added some bits and bobs onto the end of it.
Yeah.
So, I'd recommend that. Good game, really good game. The last game that I've played this week is a game for iOS. It's probably out for Android as well, but it's called RPG Creator.
Okay.
I think it's free to play, but you can also buy premium versions of it. And I literally tried to make something, and I quickly turned it off because, oh my god, I could not work it out. But I did go into...
Quite complex.
Oh my god, yes. So complex. But I went into, like, you can go into share games or something like that, and there was just loads of random stuff, and I clicked on one that said Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very simple remake of the original Pokemon sort of game.
Oh, okay.
And all the proportions are out of the characters and the buildings, and it's very simple. But given some experience with that game, I think you could do some quite good stuff.
Yeah.
And as I say, free to play, so you can download it, give it a try, see what you think. And yes, after playing some of those other people's games who have got loads more skill and time than I have, I can see that, yes, there is possibilities with the game, and it could be quite fun. So that is all that I have been playing. So we will have a quick break, and we will come back with some news. So back in a couple of seconds. And before we go to the break, I just wanted to mention that we have a competition. If you would like to win Gurumin 3D for the 3DS. Now this is like a full 3D action role-playing game, I think. It's like maybe an old-fashioned sort of Final Fantasy sort of style game, but in full 3D for the 3DS. We have got a code to give away for a European sort of like enabled device. So if you would like to win this, please just follow us on Twitter, which is @OUGofficial, and send us a question that we can read out for next week's show. If we pick your question, we will give you the code. So thank you and good luck.
And now, it's this week's news with One Up Gaming.
Right then, we're back. We're not going to do news. It's still One Up Gaming. Still episode 179. We will
Still
talk...
Chris and David.
Everyone knows that. You'd have to introduce yourself every 2 seconds.
Hey, it's Chris here.
As if you got an ego.
Hey, it's Chris here. Chris Bowering, if you didn't realise. Of course you would have realised. Of course you would have realised, because you recognise my voice. Ha 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 ha.
The way you said your own name then, it's as if, like, me trying to say it without not knowing how to say it.
It's because I say it, like, when I say it, people don't pronounce my name properly. It's not a hard name. It's like...
Bowering.
Bowering. You bow, provide a ring. Everyone thinks it's bowring. It's
I was going to say, when I see it, it's like yeah.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's bowring. But then, for me, that's so weird, because that's like someone being like, oh, your name's David Cameron. And it's like, no, it's Cameron.
Cameron.
Oh, there you go, I've been getting it wrong anyway.
Well, no, it is Cameron, but it's got the E after the M, hasn't it? So it should make the A an A.
David Cameron.
Yeah, but that just sounds wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, David Cameron.
Anyway, back to the podcast at hand. I think we should talk about the Nintendo Switch.
Alrighty then.
What do you think of the name Nintendo Switch?
I think it's fine. I think it's better than fucking Wii and Wii U. I think it's on the same par as Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64. Like, Nintendo Switch. Why? Because you can switch between your TV and your thing. Makes sense. Like, it's a straightforward enough name for people like who aren't into games to be able to pick up.
You're right, but as a marketing aspiring person, I think it's a horrible name.
Why?
Because if you were to Google the Wii, it's only the Nintendo Wii that's available. If you were to Google Switch, you'd get some sort of like RF switch cable or some sort of cable switches.
True. Wouldn't have thought of that.
Whereas you have to come up with something unique or spell it wrong. Do you know what I mean? Add letters in that aren't supposed to be there, and
yeah,
just so when you Google that, Google knows you're searching for something that's not what you're actually searching for.
Yeah,
but that's why I think the Xbox One is horrible.
Because people look up Xbox One looking for the original Xbox.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, like, whenever I try and buy retro stuff for the original Xbox, you put in Xbox, and just 360 stuff comes up, because everyone just called the 360 the Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's... They either needed to double down on just the name Xbox, or they needed to create something completely different, so it was the Xbox Infinity. It's not just some random...
That's a terrible name.
It was one of the names in the running.
Jesus, that's a terrible name. Xbox Infinity.
Do you know why? Because at the time it was running Windows 8, and they were going to do there was mock-ups of the press sort of thing, where they were talking about Windows 8, and then the 8 would stay on the screen, and it'd fall sideways.
And it'd turn to the side, yeah.
For the Xbox Infinity.
That's a terrible name.
I know. But marketing people love that. They see that and go, "Oh, we go creamy." But
Don't ever
Yeah.
say that to me again.
anyway, Nintendo Switch. Do you think that is going to be the savior of Nintendo, or do you think it's just going to be another nail in the coffin?
I really don't know, because I'm conflicted. Like, to me, it looks like a really cool concept. Like, you know, it's just, I feel like the thing is, I need to know more. I need to know, like, how effective is this going to be? Like, can I seriously be playing a game on my TV and then take this and then get on the bus and go to uni and be playing the exact same game? Like, is it going to run smooth? No, but is it going to run smoothly? What's the battery life like? Is it going to look good? Are HUD's going to look good on such a small screen if they're built for, like, big TVs? What are the games going to be? Because I have this feeling, like, I see that Skyrim's on there. I have this feeling that it's going to be...
Bethesda have come out saying they are not officially making Skyrim for it.
They're not officially.
They're not making Skyrim. They haven't started production, or they haven't entered any agreements to make Skyrim.
Why did they show that, then?
Because Skyrim Special Edition was coming out a few weeks later on the Xbox One and PS4, and they wanted people to talk about Skyrim.
But it's not actually coming out on Switch.
They haven't officially announced it, no. They've said they've not even started working the part of it.
Oh, God, alright. Like, well, the question that raised for me is, you know, how powerful is this thing? Because is it going to be running...
It's going to be slightly more powerful than the Wii U.
Which is what? Does that put it in line with the PS3, Xbox 360, or is it more powerful than those?
The Wii U was more powerful than the 360 and the PS3.
Right.
So it's going to be a little bit more powerful than it already was.
Because I don't know, because I mean the PS4 and Xbox One struggled to play a lot of games and, you know, without glitches and without bugs. So I mean,
Yeah, but
you know,
the problem
is the
is,
Switch going to be able to?
when games were made on old hardware, people had to learn how to optimize the game. Whereas now, they're just chucking more and more processor power, graphics power, instead of learning how to optimize the code.
Yeah.
So I think... I mean, I don't know about... it's running the same chip sort of set as the... Oh, God, what the hell is that tablet that I've... Not tablet. I've got... Oh, God. NVIDIA Shield.
Yeah.
I've got the NVIDIA Shield TV. And the NVIDIA Shield tablet is technically very similar to the Nintendo Switch tablet.
Yeah.
Because it's using the same chipsets.
Okay.
And that, I mean, do you know the Doom remake that came out on 360 and PS3?
No?
The Doom 3. There was a Doom 3
Oh,
remake.
yeah.
Like it was some sort of special edition.
Yeah.
That was running at 720p at 30 frames a second. On the NVIDIA Shield, that Doom 3 remake runs at 1080p at 60 frames a second. So it's...
Right.
And because developers already know how to use that hardware and that chipset, I think it could be quite good for Nintendo.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the thing I always come back to when it comes down to new hardware is show me the games and let me see how it feels. If the controller and the controls feel good, if the games are good, then I'm in. And I'll buy it. And I'll support
I think
it.
the controller looks
if
good.
It's got no
It's gone to more of a 360 sort of style button layout.
Is it going to be sizable enough, though, for the one with the screen on it?
Well, I mean, I don't know about you.
I've got big hands,
But-
mate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I couldn't... was it the DS or 3DS? It was horrible, because the buttons were tiny little things.
Yeah.
But... And... But it's like with the Switch, I'm not worried really about the battery life because I'll either just have it up in the house, sat down, playing on a game while like the wife
Pooping.
indoors is watching TV.
Or you pooping.
Yeah, or I'm pooping. Other
I'd
than
love that.
it'll
I'd love
be-
that to be able to play a game and then be like, oh, I need to do a poo. I'm not even trying to be vulgar, just like, oh, I really need to do a poo. Walk into the bathroom, keep playing the game.
But it's like, with the Wii U, I bought it. I thought, right, I don't want it clogging up the main TV because I'll never be able to play it on the main TV because that's where the PS4, the Xbox One,
Yeah.
actually watches TV. So I thought, I'll put it in the bedroom so I've got something to play on a night.
Yeah.
I can play it in bed. And then with the tablet, I can take the tablet into the room and sit in the room and play it if I want.
Yeah.
The range wouldn't go into the room, so that was the next room over. It just wouldn't reach.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I could play it in bed or on the TV in the room, and it would actually go through the next room to the toilet. So I could play the Wii U on the toilet, so I could play Mario Kart 8 on the toilet.
Yeah.
So that was quite cool. So yes, I do get where you're coming from to actually play like a proper game and not just a crappy little phone.
Yeah.
You know, that's quite cool. And another feature which I've really liked, something that people are giving it a bit of stick for, but the fact that you can take both controllers off and you and a mate could use one.
Yeah,
Which
no,
I
that's
think-
cool. That's a cool concept.
For a little two-player game, like Mario Kart, all you need is left and right, fire the thing and the jump. You know, really. I mean, it could automatically accelerate if it wanted. Do you know, it doesn't. You don't need to actually have the full controls. You just need
Yeah.
something there just enough to have a laugh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't want to. You're not setting record times or whatever. You're just having a laugh with your mate, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I do think that's a cool little thing. But again, what's the battery life like in those little tiny controllers?
Yeah, exactly. That's and that's what I say. Like, I'm really interested in the Switch. I think it's a good concept. I think they've come out and their first showing of it was a good one. It was a good first step. But I need to know more. I need to know the games. I need to know the battery life. I need to see these controllers in someone's hands. Like, yeah, I just need to know more. There needs to be a presentation.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I was expected the normal Nintendo-ness of a console. Either with the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, the 3DS, the DS, original DS, the original 3DS,
Yeah,
where it all looked very cheap, plasticky, very Fisher-Price, like very baby-looking
yeah.
sort of products. Whereas this, it actually looked like a premium device.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
You know, so I think they might be going after not the kids anymore with this one. This might be, you know, actually proper focusing on adults.
Yeah.
And
You know, I agree with you on that one.
so, I mean, I don't know about you, but this is the first console that I've heard about where I've been excited since maybe the 360.
Really? You weren't even interested in PS4?
No. When they talked about the PlayStation 4, it just sounded not very good at all. Once they announced the fact that they were going to go for power, you know, leading up to the reveal of all the specs, they were saying power, power, power. And then when they sort of said what was actually running the PS4, I was like,
Yeah.
that's a budget PC.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you can buy like a lot better than that. Whereas with the 360, that was so far and above what the PC was able to do at the time. It took a year for the PC to catch up.
Yeah.
You know, whereas now, everyone goes on about power, but I mean, even the codename Xbox Scorpio, that sounds quite good. But even at this moment in time, that's a good PC. By the time the end of next year comes, that'll probably be a medium sort of running sort of PC. You know, so we're not... I used to like the ideas of the old days where when a new generation come, it was a giant leap, you know, with what was able to do before.
It's
Whereas
just too
now-
expensive though now.
Yes, you are right. And that brings us on to the next point. I think for the Nintendo Switch to take off, it needs to be... I mean, I don't know about in your weird currency, but in the UK it needs to be about £250.
It's about $500.
Do you reckon? Is that about right?
It's what
What's
was the cost of the PS4 when it came out?
In the UK, was it £399?
£399. It was about $650 here.
Right, so yeah, it'd be about... So yeah, say about $500.
Yeah.
Give or take. You know, so it needs to be not as... Because like the Wii U, when that came out, that was either £350 or £400.
Yeah.
And like everyone gave the Xbox One like a massive going over, because I think that was like 430 quid.
Yeah.
You know, so it weren't that much more than the Wii U.
Yeah.
You know, true, that was with like the high-end model and with a couple of games, but still, why would you want to pay that much money for a Wii U?
Yeah, true.
But so I think that, I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, yes, I am not Nintendo's biggest fan for the simple reason. Unlike, I mean, look at say Activision. Everyone
Okay.
hates Activision because they do Call of Duty every year.
Yeah.
They do movie franchises every year. They do... I'm trying to think of other companies that just do the same games every year. But
Ubisoft with
Nintendo,
Assassin's
for
Creed.
some- But Nintendo, for some reason, they do the Mario Kart, they do Pikmin, they do a Mario game. They do the same car, like Zelda. They do the same 4 or 5 franchises for every generation.
Yeah.
And they don't really change much, apart from sometimes the graphical style changes.
Yeah.
But the core gameplay remains very similar, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I think that.
You know, and for some reason, everyone gives Nintendo a pass. Whereas I just think, no, do something new. Or when they do something new, like Splatoon, which, watching the videos, listening to the music, looking at the graphics, I was so in love with that game.
Yeah.
And then I actually got it for the Wii U. And it was horrible to play. It was one of the worst third-person shooters I have ever played.
Okay.
For the simple reason, it was designed to use the motion controls in the Wii U pad. And they're
Yeah.
such shite. You could not aim how you want it to. And then the sticks on the top are completely out of position of where you want your hands to be. So you ended up not being able to move and shoot, and it was horrible.
Right.
But if they're doing a Splatoon special edition and the control pad matches a 360 sort of pad and they don't do the motion controls and they actually optimize it for the sticks, then I might be back in with that game because,
Yeah.
as I say, the graphics, the music, everything else about it looked amazing. Like Mario Kart 8, I loved that game. You know, and if they have a proper core Mario game, then yes, I would be into that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the latest rumours are the Mario game is basically finished. So they're saying that might even be a launch game.
Yeah, which would be pretty good if they launched with Zelda and Mario.
Yeah, but Zelda, they haven't
They still
officially
need the
said
third parties.
they don't.
They need the third parties.
They don't. People just buy Nintendo machines for the Nintendo. It's the Nintendo box.
No, I know, and that's why I wouldn't buy it. That's why I wouldn't buy it, because that's my problem, like, the concept, like, they've done everything right in the sense of they got their own cool games, and they've come up with something that's different from the PS4 and the Xbox One, so it makes you go, okay, well, I already have a PS4 and Xbox One, this doesn't have to replace it, it's something else. But if there's no ability to play third-party games, like if I sit there and I go, okay, well, I can play games on the go, but only Zelda, only Mario, I can't play Dishonored 2, I can't play Watch Dogs 2, then there's just not enough of a draw for me.
How about if I say that something that's not really come out, but it'll be running a botched version of like an Android system. They won't say Android because everyone just assumes Android mobile. But
Yeah.
it'll be using an Android sort of system because it's a free software, and if they don't add a load of stuff to bloat it, it is very fast.
Yeah.
It's basically a streamlined Linux. That's what Android is.
Right.
That's what it came from. It came from Linux. So if they can use that with the chipsets that they've got, and they've got that deal with, is it DNA? They signed...
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They bought like 30% of the company, and they shared so many million yen shares with them, and if they do a deal with them, who's to say that a lot of the mobile sort of games can't come across? So day one, you could have millions of games able to download.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't sold me yet, David. They haven't sold me yet.
I think I have. I think I'll be buying one day one.
Well, okay.
And do you know how much I love Nintendo?
Oh, I know.
So I think that's quite good. So, that is episode 179 of the One Up Gaming Podcast. I think we will end it there. I think we've been on for about an hour and 15, something like that. So
Yeah,
it's been
something
me,
like that.
David, and it's been Chris.
Yep, Chris Bowering.
Does anyone ever call you Christopher, or is on your birth certificate Chris?
No, Christopher's on my birth certificate, but no one ever calls me it.
No, just because you see some people with a shorter name, and you sort of like you say Christopher, and they get really offended.
No, I wouldn't be offended by it. I just prefer it. It's like if people call me Christopher, I'm like, I'm not a 40-year-old man yet. Like when I'm in my mid-40s and someone calls me Christopher, hey, why not? But right now, nah. I'm just chilling as Chris.
I guess with me, it's everyone's always called me David, and I used to really hate being called Dave.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not my name. My name's David.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just crazy things.
I don't know. I think you get used to your name, and, if someone says it differently, even if it's actually technically your name, you're still like, hey, that's not my name.
Didn't they have a song that was like that?
That's not my name.
Yeah.
That's not my name. That's not my name. It's not my name.
Yes. So thank you, Chris. And we'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
Goodbye.
Good. See ya.
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular. In that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening, OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.